Imagine this. Imagine growing up in a country so cruel and so brutal that you're forced to flee your country because you're scared that your life and the life of your family might be at risk. It might be hard to understand what's happening, but you trust that your parents will be there to guide you and protect you along the way. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE, has captured and detained about 70,000 children, with an increasing number each month. These are the highest numbers that the U.S. has ever seen. Government forces immigrant children to be locked away into border facilities in cages where they're torn apart from their parents, unable to contact them or other family members, and they're put under very harsh conditions. Over the course of time, I've been interested in human and civil rights, and I have dedicated my time to learn more about immigration policy and how this connects to children. Today, I'll be talking about immigration policy, conditions in cell blocks, and how this can affect a child. To begin with, President Trump took residency in 2017, introducing the Trump zero tolerance policy that was created to reinforce immigrants who come to the U.S. illegally to be prosecuted. Its policy is to detain those who are suspected of visa violations or illegal entry to be prosecuted and until a decision was made of immigration status or returning the suspect back to its foreign country. Families and minors fleeing violence and poverty in their home may also seek asylum in the United States, take up about 60% of those who have been detained. Seeking asylum may take up about 4 years just to get approval. As the Flores Agreement states, the Border Patrol has 72 hours to turn migrant children over to Health and Human Services. The Department Office of Refugee Resettlement is then responsible for finding a sponsor for each child. However, the article Children at Risk in U.S. Border Jails states, children should spend no more than a few short-term hours in border jails. But many of the children they had interviewed had been there for 3 or 4 weeks. Now I'm going to introduce a video of a news report showing you how it is at a border facility.
These things became public. There will also be questions about photos like this, some from, again, Trump's own agencies. This was a Texas facility where you have people packed in behind the fence. A photo from a different facility, detainees with kids laying on the floor, concrete benches on top of each other. Another where a man is seen holding up this handwritten plea, help, 40-day here. Plus questions about whether the Trump administration ignored clear warnings about dangerous overcrowding.
From ages as little as months old, children are being held in cages, unwilling to contact any family members for days or even weeks. As I read in the article, Hungry, Scared, and Sick, inside a migrant detention center, we're able to read the poor conditions of the facilities as well as the mistreatment that children are going through. It has been reported that 46 children were held in a single cell. That was twice its capacity. Beds had to be removed in order to create more space for kids to be held in the cages, and they had to be forced to sleep on the cold floors. Children also reported that it gets extremely cold at night, and they're not able to sleep due to its cold floors and the very cold temperatures. Immigration policy states, Trump declaration attorney stated that the Flores Agreement does not require officials to provide soap, toothbrushes, or other basic hygiene to migrant children detained at the border or give them beds to sleep in. They don't only lack funds for resources, but they also lack adult caregivers. Some children are too young to care for themselves. Therefore, the younger children need to be taken care of by the older children in the cages. Now I'm going to show you a video of testimonies of children read by other children.
Separate me from my dad. I have not seen my father again.
I was wet when I got here and was placed in the cage without being given dry clothes.
It is so cold. I was shaking so hard. I'm the third teenage girl who has tried to take care of this little 2-year-old boy. I feed him and give him water.
I also take care of another little kid. She calls me Mama. She is 6 years old.
There is no room to move without stepping over the others. We were not given a mat to sleep on, so we had to sleep on the cold, concrete floor.
Finally, I would like to explain how the things a child can go through can cause long-term effects on a child, such as trauma. In the article In the Freezer, Abusive Conditions for Women and Children in the U.S. Immigration Facility Centers mentions, family separation exhibits the trauma of detention and increases the risk of anxiety, post-traumatic stress, and depression. During refugee immigrant process, children may experience concern about the parent's safety. Direct parent-child contact may help diminish the child's sense of danger. Such long-term consequences may include struggling with behavioral issues, dropping out of school, damaged coping strategies, or leading with issues such as drugs or alcohol. The process of crossing from one border to the next is already a very hard and traumatizing thing to go through. Children may not fully understand what is happening, and they may be confused and scared when they're separated from other family members when they're in the cages. Today, I talked to you about immigration policy, conditions of cells, and long-term effects this can have on a child. Government forces immigrant children to cross the border to be locked away into immigration border facilities, where they're torn away from their loved ones, unable to contact them, and they're put under very harsh conditions. Children may not have a choice in crossing the border. Most children who cross the border may be forced by a parent, assuming that it's the best thing for them.